Hi, everyone, and welcome to S5U. It's Kate Drake, your host. We're going to be talking about engaging with your audience today. I wanted to do a quick sound and video check to make sure you can all see and hear all right. So if I could see some hands go up, or you can let me know in the chat or in the Q&A that you can see and hear it all right, that would be great. The other thing is we're going to be moving through this relatively quickly, but we will still have time to answer your questions as we go and everything. So if you have questions as we're going along, feel free to pop those in the Q&A or in the chat room, and I'll get to them. And of course, we'll do a Q&A session at the end as well, too. So we talked, there's a kind of a lot of things that we call this particular phenomenon. We sometimes call it, handling your customer comments. We also call it engaging with your audience or audience engagement strategies, things like that. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And hopefully this will give you some ideas on how to deal with the comments that you get from customers, and also on how to increase the number of customer comments you're getting. So let's talk really briefly about what we're going to go through today. We're going to see kind of a case study on what not to do. I almost think this is the best way to learn, is to see what folks have done that didn't work in the past, right? How to handle complaints that do come in. We're going to talk about how to handle positive comments that come in, because those are just as important. And talk about some simple ways to invite more engagement on your page. So I want to start out with this cautionary tale that happened a while back. This is kind of this case has become kind of famous in social media circles because it was such an epic meltdown. There's this company called Amy's Baking Company. It's a struggling bistro in Scottsdale, Arizona. And it was struggling so much, in fact, that the owners, they're pictured here, Amy and Sammy, got chosen to appear on the TV show Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay. I don't know if you guys have seen him on some of these cooking shows that are on and stuff, but he's this chef who goes around and helps people remake their restaurant, right, on this Kitchen Nightmares show. So the show led to a lot of publicity for the restaurant, but it wasn't in a good way. And here's why. So the show revealed some really major issues with the way Amy and Sammy were running their business. And it included the fact that the couple were keeping back tips that were meant for servers, and they claimed that they had homemade ravioli when really it was frozen from a bag, kind of thing. All this kind of stuff that people were really upset about. And so bad reviews kept coming in on their Yelp page and on their other social media, and the couple really didn't handle it very well. So they started posting some things like these comments here. And I'm not going to read them all out loud because they have a lot of really bad words sometimes. But, they say, most of you are fat, disgusting losers. Probably not of the Redditors, and again, they're also grammatically incorrect and just awful. Probably none of the Redditors on this page even have a job or make over 40K a year. Most of your icons show you to be fat, overweight losers with nothing in your lives but disgusting people. My husband and I enjoy the finest champagne, caviar, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on about how we're so great and you're all awful. Didn't end there. Even more horrible things. I'm sick and tired of you Reddits and Yelpers ruining everything. Stop, just stop. By coming to this page, you agree to a legally binding contract not to post derogatory comments or images, which is totally not true, right? We know there's no legally binding contract like that on Facebook or any other social media. If you're here to do this, then just leave us alone. I don't need this from you. On and on and on, right? To all the Yelpers and Reddits, bring it on. Come to Arizona, you're weaker than my wife and weaker than me. Come to my business, say it to my face, man to man. Really just awful, awful things, right? Horrible way to handle this situation. So the posts were bad enough. They've come on and said all these dumb things on their Facebook page and just had these epic meltdowns. But then the real big problem was that they failed to take responsibility for what they said. So they went on and said, obviously our Facebook, Yelp, Twitter, and website have been hacked. We're working with the local authorities as well as the FBI Computer Crimes Unit to ensure this does not happen again. We didn't post those horrible things, right? Which, maybe having one of those social mediums hacked would be a little more reasonable, but to claim that all of them had been hacked at one time is, first of all, not only unbelievable, but, it just makes it really clear that it's not true and that they're not taking responsibility. What they should have done in this situation is said, we're so sorry, we were mistaken and we overreacted to this situation, right? Just like you would in real life, right? So the lesson here is that a social media meltdown can sink your business. You really need to be careful. This company also, was on the TV show, had this major meltdown on Facebook, and is no longer in business. So let's talk a little bit about responding to complaints here and what you need to do. So let's talk about some of the don'ts first off. We've got Elsa here as our reminder. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. I don't know if any of you guys have had to watch Frozen lately, like I do several times a week because I have small children. But this is one of her taglines that, you conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. And you don't want to let your emotions get the best of you in this situation. And it can be really hard because you can feel like someone is really attacking you personally as they attack your business or whatever. And so it's really important, even if you have to just step away from the computer for a few minutes or something, just, let it just relax for a minute. I actually got a really vicious email the other day from someone who was a client of ours but didn't realize that they were a client and didn't understand why I was sending them some emails and stuff. And they sent me this email cursing me out and everything. And I ended up just kind of showing it to some of my coworkers and being like, I just need to restore my faith in humanity for a second, and let them see it and go like, okay, yeah, that's pretty strong, but let's take a little break and then we can reply to it. And I ended up writing back a very nice email, thanking them for their critique of what we're doing and asking them if I could help them with anything else and things like that. So you just really want to, even though you may feel personally attacked, just calm down, let the emotions, ride it out, and don't let that come through in your response. One thing that you really want to make sure you do is you don't want to accuse the person who's complaining of lying or making something up or whatever. Now, this one also can be hard sometimes. I know we used to do social media management for a business or for a restaurant business, and they would get people all the time complaining about hairs in my salad or, whatever, that may have happened. And a lot of times we knew that probably wasn't the case or that something else had happened or whatever, that maybe wasn't the whole story. But one of the things we really wanted to make sure of is it's that whole idea of the customer is always right. Don't ever accuse them of lying or anything like that. Ask them about the situation and how to make it better. Don't feel like you need to give personal information. Sometimes it can be tempting to give them your personal cell phone number or whatever. Don't feel like you need to do that or tell them your name as the person who's interacting with them online. You don't have to do that. You can just be the voice of your business. Don't use bad language. Amy's Baking Company was a great example of this. Don't curse at people. This goes both for, using swear words or inappropriate language, but also just bad grammar or spelling or things like that. Make sure you're sounding really professional. And then last thing is don't dismiss those complaints as nothing to worry about. Be looking for trends in there. Don't just write them off as, oh, well, they're just complaining. Be looking at that as a way that people are interacting with your business and a way to learn more from it. So let's talk about some of the things that you do want to do when you're responding to complaints. Kind of carrying off of what we were just saying, you want to listen because they may have a valid complaint, especially if you start seeing a bunch of these things popping up over time. Kind of keep an eye out there for trends and things like that, that if you're getting a lot of complaints about one particular thing, it may be time to examine your processes in your business or, the way you handle things. Do respond in a calm and professional manner. Again, even if you have to step away for a minute, don't let your emotions get the best of you and just stay calm and, always be the bigger person in this situation, right? Feel free to apologize, even if it's just to say, I'm sorry that you had a bad experience, right? You don't have to apologize if you really didn't do anything wrong, but just even saying something like that, like, I'm so sorry that your visit didn't live up to your expectations. I'm so sorry that, we didn't deliver for you in the way that you expected, whatever it may be. It's kind of a, a half apology, but it still can help the person feel a lot better. Another thing that you should really try and do is take that conversation offline, either through private message or email or something like that. That's one of the things that I always try to do when I'm dealing with a customer who's upset about something is, if we can get them to call the business phone line or private message us or send us an email or something, it usually makes it a lot easier because, first of all, they're not going to be bashing the company that we're working to protect, right? Online anymore. And then hopefully it connects them with a person that can really help them with their problems. A lot of times people leave a complaint or something on a Facebook page or, tweet you something thinking that it's just going out there into the void and maybe their friends will see it or whatever, but they don't actually expect a response from the business. And so by responding to them, it can really make them feel like, oh, well, gosh, I didn't know anyone was going to listen to my complaint. And then if you're listening to them and asking them for more information and everything, it really makes them feel validated and can kind of turn that experience around for them. But again, try and pull that into a private forum, whether it's you get them to call your business, whether you, get them to send you a private message on Facebook versus posting it on your wall, whatever it may be. You can also do direct message on Twitter, and in mail or whatever it is that you need to do to get them offline and talking to you. And then, of course, lastly, do what you can to remedy the situation. If something went really horribly awry and they're really upset about it, try and see what you can do, whether it's, do you replace what it is that they're complaining about? Do you offer them, if you're a restaurant or something, do you offer them a free meal? Do you offer them a discount on their bill? If they have a legitimate complaint, really see what you can do to make that right and help fix that situation. Because a lot of times what's going to happen is that then they'll either remove their post or they'll update it and explain what you did that was helpful or things like that. So it's really, really important to do what you can to remedy that situation. And then, post about it. Reply to their response and say, hey, here's what we're going to do for you, and let them know. All right. So we've talked about negative comments, but one of the fun things about social media is that it also lets you get positive comments from your customers. And one thing that we see a lot of is that businesses tend to not respond to those positive comments. They're too focused on, the negative ones and just trying to deal with those. But positive comments can be such a huge part of your business and can really be awesome. So it's really important to reward those when they come through. So again, big mistake in and big missed opportunity in not responding. I found this positive comment that I thought was really fun. It's a review that someone left on Facebook. He's of a restaurant, and he says, my girlfriend and I went here on Friday around 6:30 p.m. The servers were great right from the moment we stepped in. I ordered a mojito, one of the best I've had. My girlfriend ordered the house cocktail, perfect summer drink. I had the white wine pork. I didn't know there were flavors like that. Blew me away. She had the chicken, one of the best places we've ever eaten. I've been to some swanky places, and I even left a 30% tip. So obviously this guy had a really great experience at this restaurant, really loved it. And the restaurant went back and replied to him and said, thank you for taking the time to write such a wonderful review, for giving us not 5, but 6 stars. We're so happy to hear that you had a wonderful time. Thank you. We hope to see you again soon. And he wrote back again. Hey, we were back again this past weekend. We stayed for extra servings. So, a great experience. The reason this is important is that people love knowing that a business noticed them, especially if it's a business that they're a big fan of, So if they've used you and, say you're a dentist's office or something and your patient leaves a review and you write back, they're going to feel so validated and so excited that you acknowledge them. Because again, a lot of times when people leave these social media comments, they kind of expect them to be going off into this void of cyberspace that, maybe someone will see, but they don't always expect to be acknowledged. So writing back to people can really makes their day and makes them even more excited. The other thing that's really cool about it is if they've posted something on your page, it'll show up in their friend's newsfeed, right? But then when you reply, that engagement ups that post in Facebook's algorithm and stuff. So it's going to appear on more of their friends' pages. It's going to show that there was interaction on this post. And so, oh, well, people probably want to see that, and they'll be ranked higher. So it'll go out to even more people. And by doing that, they're going to see that not only did your fan have great things to say about your business, but also that you responded in kind in a really positive way. So it's a really great way to up engagement with your business and just get the word out there that you do a great job. So here's some simple ways to invite a little bit more engagement on your page, because this is always something good. You know, both positive and negative engagement are great because they're really a great way to talk to your customers. You know, if you have a billboard or a TV ad or something, you don't get any feedback from that from your clients to know how they're feeling about it. But through posting and tweeting and things like that, you're really inviting your clients to the conversation and letting them give you feedback. So one thing that's super easy is to just ask for engagement. You know, include a call to action in whatever post you're doing that says, what do you think? Tell us what your favorite is, whatever it may be. And our writing team tries to do this a lot as we put together posts for you. You know, you'll see those that have a call to action to ask people to tell us their favorite whatever or things like that. And we try and include that. But if you're doing posts on your own, this is another great way to do it. You know, ask people what's their favorite activity for the summer. Are they going on a vacation? You know, anything like that it's really fun. Another thing that you can do is use your personal page to share posts that appear on your business page. And this is a really fun strategy and a really fun way to do something. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the 3 horizontal dots at the bottom of your cover image, right over here. And you're going to select the 3rd item down, share. And then you can enter a personalized message that says, you know, hey, so-and-so, I saw this post and thought of you, and you can send that post. And it'll contain a link to that post on your business page, and it'll share it out on your personal newsfeed. Now, one of the questions we get a lot is, well, why would I want to share a business post to someone? And the idea here is that if you have, you know, we're going to be preparing a lot of different types of content for you, and maybe one of those posts triggers something that reminds you of a person. I always like to use the example of my Aunt Susie. Susie loves dogs, like loves dogs. And her whole Facebook feed is posts from Best Friends Animals Shelter, you know, stuff talking about dogs, pictures of dogs. She's always soliciting donations for different shelters. She's trying to find homes for different fur babies or whatever, you know. So if we ever post anything about a dog on our page, that's a perfect thing to notify Susie about. So I go through these steps and click that share box and then type a message to her and say, hey, Susie, saw this post and thought of you, and share it on my personal page. And you can then share it, you know, with targeted friends and family. You don't want to share it to like everyone you've ever met, right? You want to share it to specific people. And again, the way I think about it is, if it's a post that reminds you of that person, you know, say we do something on your page about, you know, if you're an HVAC person and it's about getting your home ready for summer or something like that, or fun activities for kids at the summer. Maybe you want to tag a stay-at-home mom that you know who needs those fun activities or something like that. Or someone you know who doesn't have air conditioning, who there's other ways to stay cool. Something, you know, whatever it may be. You can share that with that specific targeted family and friend. Now, the reason, one more thing here. The reason that you want to do that is that not only does it go on to their page, you know, that one person will see it, but all of their friends will also see that they got tagged in a post, and they'll see that information about your business, and they'll see that compelling post that you put together. And hopefully they'll come over and visit your business page and want to follow you because you have cool stuff on your page, right? All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions if anybody has anything they wanted to ask. Again, you know, a lot of this is basic customer service skills, but sometimes with the internet, we forget how to interact as human beings, I think. And that goes for our clients as well as ourselves. You know, for some reason, it's so much easier to be mean to people on the internet than it is in person, you know, and people end up saying things on your social channels that they would never say to your face. And so it's really important to stay calm, to stay positive, and really keep that social interaction in a place where you can talk about things in a positive way and a professional way. You know, it's not the time to lose your temper and things like that. So it looks like we don't have any questions, unless I'll give you just a couple more seconds to raise your hand or hop in if you have something that you wanted to say. But yeah, I hope this was helpful for you guys. Again, you know, even though we're posting content for you, go hop on your social channels and see what people are saying. And if they like your posts, you know, see how you can interact with your clients, and just try and get more feedback from them, because it'll really make a difference to them. They'll feel like they're really being heard instead of just sending something out into the void of cyberspace. All right, well, we're gonna be talking about some tips for becoming a Facebook power user here at 11 o'clock. So if you guys wanna tune in for that one, we'd love to have you. Otherwise, we'll see you in a couple of weeks for our next session. Thanks so much.